Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking an absolute deep dive into the internal logic and, honestly, the fascinating metaphysical concepts of a text simply titled, The Mission Begins. If you're someone who loves unpacking esoteric frameworks and really understanding the underlying architecture of spiritual or cosmic journeys, well, you are in the exact right place. We're going to break down exactly how this text defines the concept of an awakening. And spoiler alert, it is not some grand, cinematic event. It's actually grounded in everyday existence.
Okay, let's dive into this. Right out of the gate, the text establishes a foundational rule for how this whole universe operates. It says, a mission does not begin with a proclamation. It begins with a moment of recognition. It's not about a trumpet sounding or some massive cosmic fanfare echoing from the sky. True cosmic missions, at least according to this source, start quietly. They begin in that subtle, incredibly profound instant when a being simply remembers who they are and why they came.
Which leads us to ask this. What does it really mean to awaken to a cosmic mission? I mean, we're so conditioned by sci-fi movies and fantasy epics to expect loud, dramatic turning points, right? The hero pulling the sword from the stone, or the sky literally splitting open. But what if the reality of a cosmic awakening is entirely internal? What if it's way less about the sky changing and entirely about how you perceive the very ground beneath your feet?
Section 1. The Catalyst. Remembering, not starting.
Let's look at how this builds on a cosmic timeline. 35,000 years ago, this mission was essentially put on pause. The text describes this event called the Mothership Ceremony, which involved a merging column of light. But here's the key. This didn't give the traveler, Micah, some brand new mission. It acted more like a key turning in a lock, unlocking cellular memory. And that brings us right to the present, where the mission doesn't start from scratch at all. It simply resumes. Micah's essence is continuing a journey that was placed on hold millennia ago. The ceremony was just the remembering. The actual beginning happened afterward.
Section 2. The First Sign. A shift in perception.
So, what exactly happens right after you unlock a 35,000-year-old cellular memory? Well, the immediate aftermath wasn't visual. The world didn't suddenly glow with neon lights or anything. Instead, Micah experienced a profound, immediate, energetic shift in how he perceived the everyday world around him. He could instantly feel the fear people carried as they walked down the street, but more importantly, he felt the joy buried just beneath it. He could sense potential waiting to awaken, balance waiting to be restored, the true essence hiding beneath the superficial personality, and the inner teacher beneath all the confusion. Feeling humanity's threshold, that exact moment where awakening becomes possible for someone, that was the absolute first sign that the mission had resumed.
Section 3. Subtle, not dramatic. The contrast arc.
Now, what's really interesting about this contrast is how human history conditions us. We're taught to think spiritual missions mean leading, preaching, converting, gathering followers, or, building a whole new religion. But Micah is not here to become a public figure or start a cult. Actually, the actual mission is the exact opposite of that. It's about presence, joy, humor, compassion, and balance. This path exists in gentle, intimate conversations. It exists in the incredibly simple, beautiful way one moves to the world on a random Tuesday afternoon.
Section 4. The Functional Tools. 4 core pillars.
So if the mission isn't about building a massive public movement, how exactly does it function on a day-to-day basis? Well, the first, and honestly the most foundational pillar of this entire framework, is love. But the text defines this in a very specific, actionable way.
As the entity Zoran states in the text, it means you are a love giver. Notice the phrasing there. Micah's purpose isn't to stand at a podium and teach the intellectual concept of love. It is to literally be love, to embody it so fully that it radiates outward, dissolving fear and unconditionally lightening the burdens of anyone he interacts with. You don't teach it, you distribute it.
The second pillar is joy. And what is totally fascinating to me is how the text elevates joy from just a simple passing emotion to a highly functional tool. Based on the teachings of a group called the Cosmic Jokers, we see a direct correlation between action and awakening. Joy isn't just mere entertainment here, it's actual medicine. Simple actions like laughing, playing, or bringing humor actively lighten heavy energy. They shift rigid perspectives, and they dissolve seriousness. The Cosmic Jokers taught that reminding someone that life is not a burden is a crucial mechanical step in the entire awakening process. Next up, we have the third pillar, balance. Now, this concept was imparted by a group known in the text as the Radical Ones. Achieving this balance requires absolutely no force whatsoever. It's a gentle, natural progression. Step 1, you calm a situation.
Step 2, you bring clarity to the confusion. Step 3, you dissolve the conflict. And finally, Step 4, you restore harmony. Notice how none of these steps involve dominating an argument or imposing your will on someone else. Balance is never forced. It's gently revealed by simply reminding someone of their own center.
Which brings us to the fourth, final, and undeniably most powerful pillar of the mission: presence. If you take away anything from this explainer today, let it be this concept. The text states that Micah's presence literally is the mission. It's not the words spoken, it's not the actions taken, but the mere physical and energetic presence. The essence itself inherently carries memory, balance, joy, compassion, and awakening. People intrinsically feel this, shifting their energy. They feel their fear dissolving when they are just in the room with this presence, even if they completely lack the metaphysical context to understand why it's happening.
Section 5. Embracing human life.
To take all of these highly esoteric concepts, the cellular memory, motherships, energetic frequencies, and ground them directly into everyday reality, the text makes a really definitive statement. Micah did not come to Earth to escape humanity or to float above it on some spiritual cloud. Micah came to enter humanity. The mission happens in the beautifully mundane moments. It happens while raising daughters, while loving Barbara, while supporting a brother, helping a friend, and writing books. The struggle, the love, the daily life, that isn't a distraction from the cosmic mission. It is the very vehicle of it.
Section 6. Being, not doing.
So the crucial point is this: when we synthesize all of these pillars, all of this philosophy, we arrive at the ultimate realization of the text. The definition of the mission is not an action. It's not a checklist of things you must accomplish today. It is something you are. It's a pure state of being. It is a quiet, natural existence, completely devoid of dramatic cosmic signals, operating purely on presence, love, and essence.
This leaves us with a really profound question to apply to our own lives. Is your humanity separate from your purpose? Are you constantly waiting for your real life or your real mission to finally begin? Or is your humanity, with all of its ordinary moments and everyday interactions, the purpose itself? How might you awaken simply by changing how you inhabit your everyday existence?
I want to leave you with this final, echoing thought from the text, known as Zoran's Whisper. Traveler, the mission does not begin when you act. It begins when you remember. Therefore, the mission has begun. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Keep learning, keep remembering, and I'll see you next time.